Are you ready to take your message, your business, and your life to the next level?
Want to learn from someone with more than a decade of experience, training tens of thousands of people from all around the world?
Hi, Cliff. This is Pauline from Auckland, New Zealand.
John from Calgary, Alberta.
Amy Porterfield.
Michael Hyatt.
Dan here from Dunedin, New Zealand.
Ray Edwards. Mark Mason. Mike Stelzner.
Pat from Smart Passive Income.
It's Darren from Melbourne, Australia.
Now is the time to live the life of your dreams and do the work you feel most called to do in the world.
Welcome to the Cliff Ravenscraft Show.
Here's your host, Cliff Ravenscraft.
That's right, my friends. Welcome back to another episode of the Cliff Ravenscraft Show, and I want to wish you a very happy new year. It is now January 3rd, 2019 when I'm recording this episode, and we're in the first week. How are things going with your New Year resolutions, my friend? I hope that you have set them, that you've not been convinced by anyone else that they don't work, because they do. In fact, I want to tell you that, you've probably heard statistics out there, but the reality is what people focus on is the negative stuff. They focus on, the standard way of thinking in our culture, in our society, is that we tend to look at the negative. And the only reason I can say this with certainty is because, you've probably heard people over and over again talk about New Year resolution or New Year's resolutions. They just don't work. Don't believe those people. It is not true. But Cliff, you don't understand. There's research. They've polled people. The statistics don't lie. 88% of everyone who makes New Year's resolutions fail by the second week in February. Yeah, I heard that. So Cliff, they just don't work. I agree that very smart, intelligent people crafted surveys, went out and did all that polling, put down the data, and I'm sure it's got a cross section. I'm sure it's all been double checked, triple checked. I'm absolutely certain. I'm confident that statistic is true. That 88% of those who commit to making a New Year's resolutions, they will fail by the second week in February. Statistically speaking, 88% of them. I agree with that. But wait a second. That statistic says right there, listen, that statistic says that New Year's resolutions do work. Where am I going with this? Well, what it means is that 12% of every person out there, out of all the people that make New Year's resolutions, 12% of them succeed in changing their lives. 12% of those polled who say they make New Year's resolutions, they actually are able to carry out that new habit, that new behavior, or to get rid of those old negative, self-limiting, terrible, nasty habits out of their life. They're able to do it not just for the first few weeks in January, not just for the first few months in the new year, but they're able to maintain and consistently have lasting change in their lives. And for many of those people, those 12%, I will tell you there is something they all have in common. They all do a few things the same. They have a couple strategies, they have a couple techniques, they have a couple principles that they follow, such as they believe that what they're going after is possible. They make a decision and take immediate action. They go after whatever it is and they're certain that they're going to get it. There is no other option other than achieving that goal. And when they take those actions and they say, okay, I took the actions, what's the results look like? Okay, let's change the approach here whenever necessary, right? That's something they all have in common. Instead of focusing on the 88% of people who fail to achieve their New Year's resolutions beyond the second week in February, instead, why don't we become students of the 12% who set them and succeed? That's what I've done in my own personal life. I have become a student of those who set goals and succeed. It's my mission and my vision and my purpose on this world to help people live the lives for which they were created. That's who I am. That's what I want to do more than anything else on this earth. Yeah, I've got other motivations that go behind what I do, but my number one primary motivator for all of the things that I do in my business, the number one motivator for me is I have a desperate desire to help people break free from what's been holding them back from living the lives for which they were created. And I want to ask you, do you have New Year's resolutions? It's January 3rd as I'm recording this, so it means that it's a couple days into this new year. Maybe you were lied to and you paid attention to those lies and you made a decision not to set New Year's resolutions. Guess what? It's not too late. In fact, you can start any new goal, any new desired outcome, any change in your life at any moment of the day. You never have to wait until the first of a new year. You never have to wait till the first of a new month. You never have to wait till Monday to get things started. You never have to wait until the next hour. I mean, if it is 2:32 and 33 seconds, you can make that decision right now and commit to it for the rest of your life. It's possible. Now, I remember November 14th, 2014. I made this crazy decision. I'm a 272-pound guy at the time. I had been battling with my weight for years and years and up and down. I weighed almost 300 pounds most of my adult life. And I had succeeded. I was one of those guys that says, I'm going to do something about this. You know, I almost died in the hospital. I've got to make some changes. And I actually did 18 months straight and lost 60 pounds. And it was all exciting until about, I got down to that low and I seemed to hit a plateau. And for whatever reason, I got a little discouraged. And eventually I went on not a vacation. I went on a business trip. I ended up getting sick. I got out of some habits and routines. And I eventually went into some old mindset. And then I went into some old behaviors. And I pretty much went back to what I was doing that got me the initial results of being nearly 300 pounds the first time. And, it got me the same exact result. I was right back up to almost nearly 300 pounds just a few months later. And then, of course, I had multiple starts again and, some motivation. I'm going to do it this time. And eventually, I'm sure there were people who were following me in my personal audio podcast that I had at the time that were like, okay, we'll see how long it lasts this time, Cliff. And I guess subconsciously I was asking myself that. But I'll never forget on November 14th, 2014, I can tell that was the day. That was the day there was something that switched inside of me and says, I never want this again. No, this has got to change. These thoughts had been going through. I want to change, but the thing is I don't want to change. And I had a lot of baggage, a lot of beliefs that were going through my mind. I had a lot of hangups. And maybe you can identify with the fact that maybe you need to change, but you've had so many failed attempts in the past that why bother? It works for other people, but it seems to not work for 88%. And how can I think that I'm better than 88% of people out there? Well, guess what? It's not about being better than the 88% of people who fail. It's not. It's not that at all. It's not that. I'm not saying that because I happen to be within the 12% who set goals and achieve them, that I'm any better than the 88% who set goals and fail to achieve them. It's not about being better. It's not about being smarter. It's about simply being more resourceful with what's available to you out there. The information about these techniques and these strategies and these tools that you can implement in your life. I'm going to share with you something I listened to this week for the very first time at the gym. You've probably heard it before. This YouTube video alone has 5,326,500 views as of today. And it says, if you want to change the world, start off by making your bed, by William McRaven, U.S. Navy Admiral. All right, and I'm going to play a 46-second clip, and I'm just going to give you one technique today in this podcast episode. one technique today to give you an idea of a way that you can start achieving success, long-term, lifetime, lasting change. Just one technique, one strategy right here, right now. Let's listen to just 46 seconds of this speech that this admiral gave.
If you want to change the world, start off by making your bed. If you make your bed every morning, you will have accomplished the first task of the day. It will give you a small sense of pride, and it will encourage you to do another task, and another, and another. And by the end of the day, that one task completed will have turned into many tasks completed. Making your bed will also reinforce the fact that the little things in life matter. If you can't do the little things right, you'll never be able to do the big things right. And if by chance you have a miserable day, you will come home to a bed that is made, that you made. And a made bed gives you encouragement that tomorrow will be better.
Well, there you go, my friends. That's the first technique, the first strategy I'm going to teach you right here, right there. Make your bed. Now, by the way, I want to tell you something. I don't make my bed. I never do. And it has everything to do with the fact that I wake up at 4:30 every morning and my wife doesn't wake up until much later. And so therefore, I don't make the bed. But the strategy, the principle here isn't necessarily making your bed. The strategy, the technique that is actually hidden inside of there, if you didn't catch it, is do something today. Do something now. It doesn't matter how small the action you take towards your goal is, do something now. In fact, I want to just leave you in this episode with one key phrase that I'm going to repeat several times, and I want you to repeat it after me. Are you ready? My future is determined by what I do today. All right, your future is determined by what you do today. And whatever your goals, I want you to think about whatever your biggest dream for 2019 is. At the end of the year, let's just say at the end of the year, you're 80 pounds lighter. Maybe that's your dream. Or maybe your dream is that if you're full-time self-employed, that you're going to take your business from $5,000 per month consistently, and you're going to bump that up to $25,000 per month by the end of the year. Maybe your dream is to take that little hobby you have on the side, something that you love to do. You see some opportunity there to generate some income on the side, and you'd like to see if you could build that up to a specific dollar figure to help you leave the day job. Or maybe your dream is to get a promotion in the company that you're currently at. You love being an employee. You're not looking to take over the business, to start your own business, but you want to get that promotion. Maybe you want to change the relationship that you have with your spouse. Maybe you want to just radically change the way that you're relating to your wife or to your husband, or if you're a parent, to your children. Whatever your biggest dream is. I know that maybe if you are the type like me that sets goals, you love setting goals, you love going after your goals. And if you're like me, you have many goals. But I want you to take the one that is the biggest, the one that is the most audacious. I want you to think about that goal right now. Got it? All right. That goal right there, I want you to think of what you can do today before your head hits the pillow tonight to go to sleep. I want you to think of 1, 2, or 3 things that you can do to get you just one small step closer to the realization of that goal being met by the end of this year. Let's just say my goal was to lose another 25 pounds. Well, what is something that I could do today? Well, I could go out for a 35-minute walk today. I could go to the local gym and get a membership to the gym today. That's an action. That's something I could do today. I could make a call to a friend that has also been expressing their desire to make some changes and say, hey, do you want to go to the gym with me tomorrow? That decision, that action is what you do today. Hey, I'm committing to this. Will you commit to this too? Why don't you go to the gym with me? By the way, for you to be able to experience change in your life, you need to believe that it's possible. And you also have to believe that you are responsible for the change. Don't rely on other people for this change. Don't rely on a workout partner, a business coach, or whatever the case may be. By the way, I'm not saying don't use a business coach. I'm not saying don't invite somebody to be your workout partner or your accountability partner or whatever the case may be. Use any resource that you have available to. Use every resource you can possibly think of. Use as many resources as possible, but recognize this. Your results are your responsibility. So if your workout partner doesn't show up or they text you at 30 minutes before you're supposed to leave for the gym and they say, dude, I am so sorry. I slept in. I'm not going to be able to make it, blah, blah, blah. I want you to just know this. You go to the gym anyway. Make that decision. In fact, you should anticipate when something goes wrong, what am I going to do? Make that decision ahead of time. What are you going to do today that will get you one step closer to your goal? All right, I have to head out of here. I have an appointment in just about 30 minutes that's I've got to drive to, a hair appointment. So I'm going to leave you with this shorter episode, but I want you to remember this. Your future is determined by what you do today. Don't leave the sight of setting a goal, of New Year's resolutions, without taking some action today. Decide right now what is 1, 2, or 3 things I can do today to get me closer to that outcome. And a little hint, did you hear? He says, if you want to change the world, start by making your bed. And he's making the assumption that you're going to start by making your bed every day. Every day you want to ask yourself the same question. What's 1, 2, or 3 things that I will do today before my head hits the pillow? Any action, it doesn't matter how small it is, just take an action. Because why? Because one action, even as small as it may be, will get you closer to taking the next action, and every action you take after that will become easier and easier, and eventually you're going to get to some pretty difficult, challenging actions that you might have to take. But guess what? By building the muscle and getting stronger by making all these smaller decisions and actions that you're taking on a consistent basis, you will have so much momentum, you'll build that muscle of taking action, and you'll be able to tackle the big stuff down the road.
If you make your bed every morning, you will have accomplished the first task of the day. It will give you a small sense of pride, and it will encourage you to do another task, and another, and another. And by the end of the day, that one task completed will have turned into many tasks completed. Making your bed will also reinforce the fact that the little things in life matter. If you can't do the little things right, you'll never be able to do the big things right.
Take some small actions today, my friends. Hey, right before I head out the door, I just want to let you know a couple things. Number 1, I am hosting a webinar this Saturday, if you get this in time, January 5th at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Go over to mindsetanswerman.com/webinar. It's all about some more techniques and strategies and tools and techniques about how to achieve your goals in 2019. That's over at mindsetanswerman.com/webinar. By the way, if you miss out on that, if you're listening to this after Saturday, January 5th, then head over to mindsetanswerman.com/free session, mindsetanswerman.com/free session. That's where you'll go and you'll be able to have access to the opening session of the Free the Dream online course. And if you get into that, that's going to teach you some valuable information that you're going to need as a foundation to understand how to create lasting change in your life. And it's also where you will be informed of future webinars that I'll host in the near future as well. Another announcement that I've been reminded that I needed to make to you guys, there is the option for you to purchase the Free the Dream online course. And I've had a number of people say, Cliff, I was thinking about attending the Free the Dream conference in September this year, but then you started talking about this Free the Dream online course, and I know that I could benefit from it right now, but man, if I pay the $500 right now, that's $500 that could have gone toward my ticket later, and I just want everybody to know this. If you invest in the Free the Dream online course, it's a $500 investment. If you invest in the Free the Dream online conference at $500, 100% of your purchase will go towards the cost of your Free the Dream live ticket if you decide to come to the live event. It's an action you could take today to get that online course. Start off with the free session, though, mindsetanswerman.com/free session. See if you like what you see there. If you do, buy the course, $500, and I promise you this, it will change your life. You will be able to I made a decision November 14th, 2014. I'm working out 6 days a week, every week for the rest of my life. It's well over 4 years later. I'm still doing it. I made a decision to completely eliminate all sugary snacks for the rest of my life. It's been over a year. I could tell you more. I've helped other people do the same through the techniques, tools, and strategies that I teach in the Free the Dream course. You can get that free session, mindsetanswerman.com/free session. But again, if you decide that you later want to come to the Free the Dream conference, your $500 will be applied towards the cost of your ticket, standard or VIP, either one. I desperately want to help you break free from what's been holding you back from living the life of your dreams or living the life for which you've been created. Until next time, my friends, I encourage you to remember your future is determined by the actions you will take today.